In this lesson, I will explain to you the concept of project life cycle. So in PMP, it says or it emphasizes that projects can follow different development approaches or different development life cycles. So we will discuss three important. The first one is the predictive, which is also known as the waterfall or the traditional approach. The second is the adaptive or agile. The third one is the hybrid. Hybrid means combination of the predictive and adaptive. So first I will explain to you predictive or waterfall. So in predictive and waterfall, you should have a scope clear in the beginning, means whatever project or whatever product you are going to make in your project, the scope should be clear, means what you have to deliver, how much time it will take to complete, and what is the budget. If all these things are clear upfront, especially the scope, it means you have to use the predictive or waterfall approach. The second is the adaptive or agile, means here the requirements evolve through iterative delivery. What does it mean? It means the scope is not clear. As the project progresses, you should have more requirements. And the third one is the combination of predictive and agile, means some part of the project you have to make, you have to use the predictive approach, and for the some phases of the project you have to use the agile practices. So here I have written the note for you. Regardless of the approach, every project still moves through a life cycle from initiation to closure. What does it means? Mean these are called the focus areas. So if you are using the predictive, hybrid, or the adaptive approach, you have to start your project with the initiation phase. What we do in this phase, we make the charter. What is the charter? I will discuss in this course in detail. And then you have to find out all your stakeholders. So this is the initiation phase, and at the end you have to close. There are few steps which you have to follow, how to close the project. And again, these there are five focus areas. So all these focus areas we will discuss in this course, but keep in mind the first one is the initiation, the last is the closure, between the second is planning, execution, monitoring, and controlling. Through the activities and timing may be different, but you have to use or follow these five focus areas. First, we will talk about in detail a little bit about the predictive waterfall. According to the new PMP format, 40% questions comes from the predictive or waterfall, which is also known as the traditional approach. So if you will see the keyword scope is clear, means whatever you have to make is clear. There are regulatory compliance, security requirements, strict standards, and safety requirements, etc. If you will see in your scenario, in your question, these wording, it means, or these keywords, it means you have to select the predictive or waterfall approach. A predictive or waterfall approach is a linear. What does it mean? It means it is plan driven methodology. Suppose here I have made a simple example for you. Suppose you have to make this building. So in advance, in upfront, you should know how many floors this building should have. Suppose if I will say there should be 10 floors, the first floor should be for offices, there should be a swimming pool, there should be a 50 or 100 parking spots. So everything should be planned in the beginning. That is the key word for the predictive or waterfall approach, where all requirements, budget, and timelines are defined upfront. Work flows sequentially through distinct stages such as analysis, design, build, and test. All these words I will explain to you in this course step by step. But the key, this is also the keyword for the predictive and waterfall, that single big unit. What does it mean? That when you will complete this building according to your plan, then you have to deliver this building as a single unit to your customer. This is the predictive approach. The terms Agile, iterative, and incremental are related. Sometimes you will see in the exam they are talking about the iterative approach, incremental, agile. So how you have to select, I will explain how the correct answer I will explain to you in this slide. These three are related, but they are not same thing. First, we will talk about the iterative approach, right? Suppose if you have a scenario consists of 3 or 4 lines, and you have to select whether you have to select incremental, iterative, hybrid, agile. So if the keywords are, you will see the keywords quality, perfection. Quality means we do not have to compromise with the quality. Perfection, refinement and learning, prototype, provide single unit at the end. It means you have to select the iterative approach from your ABCD options. But here I will explain to you the same thing with the help of the same example which I discussed in my previous slide. Suppose you have to make this building, the first floor, right? The first floor is for the offices, rental offices, suppose. So when you will complete the first floor, you have to show to your customer or a stakeholder, you will get feedback, and again you have to work on it according to your feedback. You have to refine the first floor until or unless the customers or the stakeholders are satisfied. Then you have to move to the second floor, same thing. You have to start with the basic version, and then you have to get feedback from the stakeholder or customer. You will learn, and then you have to refine. You have to set the quality which is already explain in the bill in the beginning. And then all floors are done, then you have to hand over this building as a single unit, right? So the keywords are refinement and learning, prototype, you have to make a model. So here are the characteristics. Start with the basic version, refine and improve it through multiple iterations. Each iteration may revisit and modify existing work. Whatever I had explained, the same wording I have written here for you. The second is the incremental approach. Suppose if there is a scenario, an A, B, C, D option, you have to select whether you have to select incremental again, sorry, increment or adaptive. So keywords are minimal viable product, MVP, minimum viable product, quickness, get market share quickly, or phases. These are the keyword. If you will see these keywords in the scenario, it means you have to select the incremental. But what does it mean? It means again you have to make this building, and the same kind of, more or less same kind of building your competitors are making, and you want to get the market share. You have to introduce your building in the market, or whatever software you are making or whatever in the market, as quickly as possible. So when you will complete your first floor, you have to introduce your first floor in the market. In this way you will get the market share. Then you have to work on the second floor, and then you have to, one by one, you have to work on each floors, and each time when you will complete this phase, this phase, this phase, it will go in the market. So it is phases. An incremental approach means delivering the system in a small usable pieces increment. What are the characteristics? Build one part at a time. Here you do not have to hand over the building as a single unit to the customer. You have to hand over one by one floor, second floor, third floor, and so on. Each increment adds new functionality. Previous increments generally remain unchanged. Now is the agile. Keyword is time box. If you will see the word time box, then you have to select the agile approach. Agile ceremonies. What are the agile ceremonies? There is the daily scrum, we have the retrospective, we have a agile planning. So we will discuss about the ceremonies. If you will see the agile ceremonies, scope is not clear, then you have to select the agile approach. And here I have written the same thing for you. Agile is the broader software development philosophy. Usually we make software with the help of agile framework that typically combines both iterative and incremental. Now I think it is clear what is the difference between iterative and incremental. Incremental means phases. We have to deliver our projects in the form of phases. Here, after make one phase, we have to get feedback from the customer. We have to refine, and then we have to go to the second and third. At the end, we have to hand over the complete project as a single unit. And here I have highlighted what does it mean. Instead of doing all planning upfront in Agile, it emphasizes cross functional collaboration. In Predictive, we have all the planning upfront, but in Agile, we do not have planning upfront. It emphasizes cross functional collaboration. What is the meaning of cross functional collaboration? Suppose if we are making a building, so definitely we need a team. So there should be 2 or 3 members, means few member who should know how to make the flooring. 2 or 3 member, they should know how to do the plumbing work. 2 or 3 members should know how to do the electricity work, and so on. So it is called the cross functional team. Characteristics: deliver working software frequently, welcoming changes. Here again I will give you a simple example. Suppose if you are making the website, when you will complete one page of the website, maybe the customer will ask you to do some to add some more features here. So happily you have to accept whatever he or she is saying, the customer is saying, and you have to add new functionality in that page, and then you have to move. Continuous customer feedback, work in a short cycle sprints. What does it mean? Again, we will discuss in this course. Now is the third is the hybrid project management. Hybrid means it is the combination of predictive, and predictive is also known as the waterfall and traditional, because sometimes in the exam you will see the word traditional, waterfall. So it should be clear that these are the synonyms for the predictive, adaptive, agile, or iterative incremental method. See, sometime hybrid means combination. So predictive and predictive, these three will be same, means this the predictive will be the part of the hybrid plus another life cycle. Maybe we will add predictive and adaptive. Now you should know what is the meaning of adaptive, agile, predictive and incremental, or predictive and iterative. So these are the hybrids. So now we will discuss one by one. So hybrid project, here is the predictive part. Predictive means the scope is casual, especially the scope is clear upfront. Adaptive means agile. Example is mobile banking app with time box events, right? This is the simple wording, but in the exam you will see a big scenario consists of 4 or 5 lines. If you will see the word time box, so it means, and you will see regulatory compliance, security requirements, overall architecture are planned upfront. You have to select the hybrid. But if instead of hybrid they are using predictive plus adaptive, predictive plus increment, or whatever, so here you have to select predictive. Keep in mind, predictive is mandatory for all the hybrid plus adaptive because it is time boxed, right? So here I have written why it is hybrid. The project needs fixed compliance requirements, which is the predictive, while allowing flexibility in feature development, which is adaptive. Now we will talk about the again the hybrid, but this hybrid this time is predictive plus iterative. Right now you should know very well what is the meaning of iterative. Quality we do not have to compromise, and it is the refinement. Example, aircraft cockpit display. I think I just skipped this one. Okay. First, second is incremental plus predictive. So example is organization system implementation with phases. If it is phases, it means it is incremental. Scope, budget, schedule, and system architecture are defined at the start. So if it is everything is upfront, it means it is predictive. But here you have to decide which you have to add. If it is phases, it means predictive and incremental. So modules are delivered in stages. First you will complete finance, then you have to hand over finance department. Second is human resources, procurement, and inventory. Why hybrid? The overall project follows a fixed plan, but value is delivered incrementally through separate releases or separate phases. The last is iterative and predictive. So example is aircraft cockpit display development with perfection and quality. See, I told you perfection. When you will make one phase, you have to show to the customer. They will give you some feedback. Then you have to refine unless or until that there should be perfection. So perfection and quality, safety requirements, certification standard, budget and milestones are established upfront. This is the predictive part. Why it is hybrid? Requirements and deadlines are largely fixed, but the design is refined through multiple cycle before final delivery. So So I hope the predictive, agile, incremental, iterative, and predictive is clear. So this slide you can go through it very slowly. Actually, whatever I had explained is written here. Hybrid type, adaptive plus predictive. This is the predictive component, architecture, compliance budget, and this is the adaptive agile feature development. Here is the example mobile banking app and so on. So this is just a slide, you can go through it. A useful rule of thumb first is the adaptive. Here I have made this slide very easy for you. Adaptive means requirements can evolve, scope is not clear. This is the main thing for the agile, scope is not clear. Incremental, deliver pieces of the final product over time, means in phases we have to deliver minimum viable product in order to get the market share. Iterative, repeatedly improve the same product or component. Predictive, scope, schedule, cost are largely planned upfront, especially the scope. In the next video, we will solve the question related to all these four life cycles or approaches. In this way, you will learn more. So if you have any question, you can ask me, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.